Yep, you with me, Luke? Up, you're on the air. There we go.
Yes.
I'd like to open up the regular village board meeting for the village of Shorewood on March the 23rd in the year 2021. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Diane, roll call, please.
Mayor Chapman,
Here.
Dan Anderson,
Here.
Steve Brockman,
Here.
Cece DeBold,
Here.
Tony Luciano,
Here.
and Dan Warren.
Here.
Okay, let the record show there's a quorum. Your regular village business can be accomplished tonight. Trustee Kirkland is off ill, so at any rate, I'd like to move on. Are there any citizens that wish to address the village board tonight? That's electronic. Oh, go ahead, sir. Just state your name for the record.
Sure, my name is Dave McLaughlin. Actually, I'm from Deer Run. I just wanted to say real briefly that we're still working with both Jim and Steve regarding the noise issue. Just kind of wanted to come in and state that things have gotten better based on some of the issue point blank is made, but that the issue definitely isn't resolved. So, working with Jim.
Okay.
Thank you.
We got the message. Any other citizens that are present that wish to address the board? Huh? Hey. That's, by the way, anybody who's watching, that's Luke. He's our park director, and also our technical advisor and our cameraman, all rolled into one. So. Okay, is there anybody that's connected to us electronically that would like to speak to the village board? Give you a few seconds, make sure you're not muted on your phone.
Hello.
Okay, Luke, thank you. Doesn't sound like anybody's electronically hooked up. If there are no more, I'm going to move on then to tonight's consent agenda, which consists of approval of a special meeting on February the 16th, approval of the regular meeting minutes for March the 9th. Number 3, approval of accounts payable in the amount of $1,038,169.86. Also, approval of a payment in the amount of $10,590 to RJN Group for the 2020 sewer cleaning and televising program. Number 5, approval of a payment in the amount of $61,422.50 to Core Maine for water meters purchased by the village. Approval of a payment in the amount of $40,727.32 to Cargill for de-icer salt. and I hope we don't need any more. That was kind of a rough winter. We haven't had one like that in a while. Number 7, approval of a payment in the amount of $37,104.80 to Terrapelli Ford for a 2021 Ford F-250 for the Public Works Department. And finally, approval of a grant payment, number 6, in the amount of $9,855.06 to Shorewood Cares. This is our Small Business Relief Program recipients. Are there any items on tonight's consent agenda a trustee would like removed for further review?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, Diane, roll call, please.
Luciano.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
DeBold.
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
And Brockman.
Yes.
The consent agenda stands approved as read. Reports and communications. Diane, any communications to the board?
No, Mayor, there's none.
Okay, I have no proclamations, and I have no report for tonight. So, if there are no questions for the good of the whole, I'd like to move on to the order of business. Order of business number 1, consideration for approval of a facility use agreement with Illinois Select for use of the ball fields at Seni's Four Seasons Park. Mr. Culotta.
Thank you, Mayor. Before you tonight is 2 agreements. The first, as you mentioned, is for Illinois Select. The second is for Minooka Baseball Softball Association. As you know, there's been a lot of dialogue in the past couple weeks, and what you have before you is the current proposed agreement, which outlines not only the use, but other maintenance-related topics and how those should be carried out by each of the clubs. I think that this current draft provides a great deal of flexibility for the 2 clubs to work together regarding some issues that are not yet resolved, but appear to be on a path for that. So I am happy to answer any questions you may have. We also have representatives from both clubs here tonight.
Have everybody had a chance to go through them?
Yep.
Are there any questions on this issue? If not,
I'll make a motion to approve the facility use agreement with Illinois Select for the use of the ball fields at Seni's Four Seasons Park.
Second.
okay, Diane, roll call, please.
Brockman.
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
DeBold.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
And Luciano.
Yes.
Okay, welcome on board, Select. Moving on to the next item, consideration for approval of a facility use agreement with Minooka Softball for use of the ball fields at Seni's Four Seasons Park. Mr. Culotta.
Really, it's a very similar agreement. It's a little bit different from Illinois Select in that Minooka will have the ability to use the concession stand as well as a storage shed at the park, which is the same shed they've been using for several years now.
Okay.
Motion to, so I make the motion to approve the agreement with Minooka Baseball for use of Four Seasons Park.
Second.
Okay, Diane, roll call, please.
Luciano.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
DeBold.
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
And Brockman.
Yes.
Welcome back, Minooka Baseball. Okay, moving on. If there's, we're going to go to our final business item for the regular meeting. Number 3, consideration for approval of a contract with PDC Laboratories Incorporated for the village's lab testing services in the amount not to exceed $12,000 and waive the bid process. Mr. Norier.
Thank you, Mayor. Historically, we've used suburban labs for all our testing requirements for our water distribution system in regards to water testing that is required by the IEPA. This year, we've decided to bid out the testing, and this year, we've also asked both Suburban Lab and PDC laboratories to be able to review all of our testing requirements of the EPA for the entire year. PDC, we have not used them in the past. However, Assistant Director Plise has used them at his previous employment and has good experience with them. PDC is the low bid in the amount of $10,100 and something dollars. We're requesting a purchase order in the amount not to exceed $12,000, just in case to cover any resampling that is required and additional testing, and any time that we may have a water main break that would require us to sample the water. Any questions?
Motion to approve the contract with PDC Laboratories not to, for testing services and not to exceed $12,000 and waive the bid process.
Second.
Diane, roll call, please.
Brockman,
Yes.
Warren, DeBold,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
and Luciano.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to reports. Trustee Anderson, Public Works Committee.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. First up, the light at 59, or Black Road in Shorewood. As everybody would recall, last year we were going to do this. We had it scheduled for spring of 2020, and then the COVID hit, and we decided to put this off for 1 year because we didn't know finance-wise how things were gonna roll out, and it was a $641,000 project, so we put it on the back burner for 1 year. Well, anyway, we need to do it this year. It's scheduled to go this spring. The contract amount is unchanged. The contractor held their price. So we need to move forward with it to maintain or to keep that price. So it was originally scheduled for 2020. So Monday, March 29th, the contractor will begin mobilizing and installing traffic control, erosion control, and tree protection equipment. Monday the 5th, the contractor will begin physical construction. So northbound Shorewood will be closed to through traffic, and construction notices will be hand-delivered this week to our residents up there that'll be affected. So yeah, it's a little inconvenient right now, and we're gonna have to face a little bit of uncomfortable with the people up there, because we were hoping to get this done after the schools were closed, but it's gonna have to kind of go along with the schools. And the completion date, the lights will be up and running by the 21st is the completion date, and final completion with the landscaping and all the work should be done by the 25th. So it'll be a little ugly up there for a little while, but it should be okay by mid-June. Any questions on that one? Okay. And then the other thing, we picked up tree trimming again that we stopped because of the winter. So that's continuing and just about wrapped up. The two pumps that we've had some problems with, we have the rentals in. There's no issues going on down there. Pumps are working fine, and then we're starting to pick up street sweeping operations, cleaning up the streets in the town. So that's what's going on in Public Works.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Anderson? If not, Trustee Brockman, Planning and Zoning Commission.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next meeting will be April 7th here at the Village Hall. And Kelly has outlined 4 agenda items for that night. PUD amendment to include conditional use to allow personal care use in an OCI zoning district. A zoning exception for parking setback, site plan amendment for Shorewood Salon Suites, which is the old Caldwell Banker building here on 52. Conditional use to allow drinking establishment with outdoor dining in the B1 zoning district for Mauve Nosh and Libations at 1146 West Jefferson. Site plan approval and final plat of re-subdivision for construction of Pizza Ranch Restaurant at 19735 Northeast Frontage Road. And hopefully the final plat for Go Pro Ball and Four Seasons Storage in Kendall County. That'll be on April 7th. And while I got the floor, I've never seen a softball game in Shorewood because of my time in the field, so that's normally when we're working. I see the lights on at night when I come home from the field. I mean, it's bright as can be out there. But so Sunday I went out and I walked the 3 fields and I walked the park. Never did that before. And I hope everybody realizes what a gym we've got out there. That's an absolutely fabulous 60, 70 acres, whatever it is. It's fabulous. But those fields are look to me like in pristine condition, but I'm not a professional at softball fields, but they sure look nice because when I was a kid, we'd go out and get 4 hubcaps and put them out in the cow pasture and call that a softball field, and a softball would leave the bat and no telling where it would land at. It would normally come back a little darker than it left the bat, depending on where it landed. So, but never had the chance to do that, so I took the opportunity to go out there and look the fields over and the facilities. So, really got a nice place to play. So, and trying to find a spot for maybe a couple more fields out there. I think we've sure got the land to do it. So, but that's all I had to say about that. So, thank you.
I'll enter something there. Looks like we get a little bit extra time, but it's named properly. Sini Swartz, who was a past trustee on this board, sat off to my right. And prior to me taking this position 20 years ago, we were both trustees, and she worked her butt off going down to Springfield, working to get the grant money, okay? And she worked diligently and energetically to get that done. She was quite a lady as far as I'm concerned. Plus, she was very dedicated to the village of Shorewood. And she did just, she's passed now, just in case there's some of you that weren't aware of that. I was asked by her family to write a poem the day that she passed on. And the family honored me by putting it on a marble stone in the park over near one of the walkways. And I wrote that sitting on top of the sled hill, trying to think of what she was thinking about. And it took me quite a few hours, but the day was great. And right at the end, the wind picked up and blew me almost over backwards. And because I was sitting off balance, okay? I wasn't drinking or anything, but I just kind of rocked a little bit. And I tore that poem up and wrote a new one in about 10 minutes right there. And it's actually called the breath of Orsini's breath. And I hope she feels good about it. But I'd like to thank the Swartz family for that honor, because that may be the only thing of me that's ever here. Okay? So, whatever. So moving on. Trustee DeBold, Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Mayor. It's a little tough to follow those notes. But in regard to the park and recreation side of things, registration for the community garden is now open. The spring community scavenger hunt will be April 19th, so feel free to get online and get registered for that. Registration for the community-wide garage sale is also available on the village's website. Please try to get registered by April 16th. The dates will be April 23rd and April 24th. So that will be the community-wide garage sale, April 23rd, April 24th. And then the inevitable village-wide cleanup is going to take place April 27th. And then there's also the spring newsletter. It's available on the village's website. And lastly, be sure to like, follow, subscribe to any of the social media outlets that the village uses so you can keep up to date with everything going on in the village. That is all.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Luciano, Citizens Advisory Committee.
Thank you. This Thursday, the Village Citizens Advisory Committee will be meeting here in the boardroom. It's going to be in person. We'll also have call-ins and also streaming the meeting. We're going to have a presentation on strategic planning for the village. Presentation being made by our village administrator, Jim Colada. So it should be interesting. And with that, anyone who's interested in getting involved with the Citizens Advisory Committee, if they can contact myself or any member, our names and ways to get in touch with us on the village website. That's all I have.
Okay. All right, is that it? Okay. We'll adjourn, take about a 2-minute break, okay, so that anybody who would like to leave can get out of here. And then we'll open up the committee of the whole. So I'll entertain a motion for adjournment of the regular village board meeting.
So move.
Second.
Diane, roll call, please.
Luciano.
Yes?
Anderson.
Yes.
DeBold.
Yes.
Warren. Yes. And Brockman.
Okay. We stand adjourned just a couple of minutes, okay? And then